Welcome everyone to the CenterStage at PrimeTime here in Houston. And today this morning we're going to talk about product protection. Obviously it's one of the most important things in my life, and I have a couple of dealers here that are my favorite dealers, and we want to talk about product protection and what it does for them. Got a big crowd here. We appreciate everybody coming to watch and to talk. I've got Jim Otten. He is with Kettle Moraine in Cedarburg and West Bend, Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm pretty smart. I'm doing
yes,
good.
You are.
And I got Dan Radu, and he's with Bitter Newman, and he's in Sheboygan. I can't say it like Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
And Manitowoc. Is that correct?
Manitowoc, yeah.
Manitowoc, okay. So those aren't very important. The most important thing is what product protection does. And it not only is it something that we sell just to the customer, it's also benefits the dealer in a couple of three different ways. So Dan and Jim both have been selling product protection for a while. Jim, how long have you been selling product protection?
15 years, 20 years?
15, 20 years. And Dan, what?
Yeah, about 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, so y'all are kind of friendly competitors there, and your markets don't quite touch, they overlap?
No, they are real close, about 45 minutes apart, but we don't overlap too often.
Okay. So when we talk about product protection, I think the first thing we want to talk about is what customer satisfaction. So give me a little bit of insight what you feel and how the theory in your story is, Jim, on that.
Well, it gives the customer the security that if something does break after the 1-year warranty's up, they have that added protection. It's a great add-on for us also, but I think you do the customer disjustice if you don't offer it to them, because nothing better than a feeling something comes in 4 years old and maybe the compressor's bad or something in that order, and you can say, well, you know, you're covered 100%. And by that time, they've probably forgotten that they had the protection plan.
Yeah.
So it's a win for you. It makes you a hero. It makes your salespeople a hero. I mean, it's a great thing to have for them.
Yeah, and in your market, I guess both of you, of course, being independent service or independent dealers, both of you do your own service?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things I think, Dan, is just your standing in the community and people knowing that they can rely on you, right? And so customer service is a big issue.
Oh, it's huge.
Dan's been doing it for 97 years now.
That's right. You had an anniversary this year, right?
Yeah,
97?
98. Actually.
98, sorry.
You don't look it.
You don't look that old, does he?
So yeah, talk about the service and just the way people look at you in your community.
And they expect us to take care of them. And we do. And it's so much nicer. Service tech can walk in. Hey, you're covered. Everything's good. They're happy. We're happy.
So we know the customers want it. They don't always know that they want it, and you don't look at the people and decide by the way you look at them whether they want it or not, right? You offer it to everybody.
Early and often, and to everyone. And that's the biggest part of it, is getting that across to the customer. If you offer it to, at least offer it to 10 of them, two will buy it by default. I know there's a dealer up in Upper Michigan. He sells them also. I tried to press him to do it. I said, just try an offer. And he did it, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, he started selling.
He sold one?
Yes.
I'm
Maybe
so
two.
proud of maybe
but,
two.
That's a big part of it, and you have to offer it. So
I think he may be out here listening, or watching. So both. How many? What sales staff? How many salespeople do y'all have?
dozen.
Dozen.
Yeah, about 12.
Yeah.
15.
So how do you get it across to them? I mean, you bring somebody in new, and
Well, the group offers trainings online and on the nationwide site and stuff, and you know, at these shows you can work with people like you or Chad Burris, and I mean, they've been all great and very helpful to try to get things going. Another thing we've done is try different games or motivational things to get the staff to do it, and if that doesn't work, the last thing I did is I had a rubber stamper made, customer declined it, put it on there, and made some of the salespeople that weren't doing as good a job doing it to make sure that the customer had to sign it, and then that way we were guaranteed they were at least offered. And them folks, you'll find also, geez, I sold some product protection plans also. So that's part of it, try to keep it moving.
yeah. So does money motivate the salespeople? Compensation on it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we spiff them. We spiff them up to 30%. And I talk about it every week. In our sales meetings, every week we bring it up. You got to keep pushing, keep pushing. We have to motivate the salespeople. We had a contest between our stores.
between the two of y'all?
Yeah.
Yes,
Every
we
week
did.
we check who sold more.
Who won?
I won.
And what? And Dan's, I mean, Jim's a much bigger dealer than you, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of shameful.
Well, we were closed a couple days that week because there was a virus going around. No, I'm just teasing, but no, it was very fun. It was very competitive. So each day we'd put it up on the wall in the office, and you'd see Bitter Newman's tracking here, and then Kettle Moraine was here, and it was a pizza party between each store. So if Dan won, I was sending the money up for him to have a pizza party for him and his staff, and well, I did pay for that. So
I'm sorry to hear
I didn't
that.
care about the pizza party. It
So-
was the letter that his salespeople had to each sign
Oh,
saying
they had to sign
lost.
the letter? I love it. There's friendly competition there. So no beer involved, just pizza?
just pizza, and then the loser also had to buy a beer at the next show we were at.
Ah,
so
there you go. Yeah, that's a little more personal.
yes.
So you brought up a good point of posting things. Do you let the salespeople know where they stand with each other? Is that something that helps? Like
Oh,
posting.
I make them keep track of it, and we talk about that every week at the meeting too.
Do
Where are
you?
you at percentage-wise?
So every week you talk about
Yeah.
it.
We have a neat little spreadsheet. I think you may have even made it back in the day, but list the salesmen, the percentage of growth, percentage to goal, and we follow that, and they're always looking at that, at least every couple days to make sure they're tracking to where they should be. We also throw a kicker on it if they hit their 5% for that month. I'll throw them some cash, so it's
Yeah.
always kind of their mad money, so they're always looking forward to that and tracking it daily. So it helps.
Well, that's fantastic. So and then what about yourself? I mean, as far as the business, I mean, we have this competitive world we're in, especially in the appliance business. Margins are always thin. They're always working on some things. So talk about how that helps your store a little bit.
Well, it just increases your margin by attaching the product protection plan. I mean, it's a great profit maker for the company, and share it with the staff, so it's a win-win across the board.
Hey, you think about it. We don't have to put it in the warehouse. We don't have to buy it early. We don't have to pay for it before we sell it.
I make y'all pay for it?
You don't have to worry about it getting scratched on delivery or anything. It's
No kidding.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, it's always the right size and color.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So which program do you use? We have multiple programs, obviously.
I use the Epic at this time.
Yeah. So what sets that apart?
Oh, it's been great. The people that we've worked with, and I mean, I'm very happy with their program.
So we have the no limit of liability type coverage.
Oh, and that's huge.
Yeah, talk about that for a second. I mean, I know
That's
we've
huge.
run into that problem before.
And we have. And for a customer to know, it could be 4 years old. Maybe maybe the warranty company already spent $300 on this thing, and it could be junk after 4 years, and they're still going to get a new one.
Yeah. So those are some. So and then how about some of the smaller coverages, like when we, the parts that may not be the functional parts that used to be considered.
Well, it's been easy
Cosmetic.
with Epic now compared to what it's been in the past and I've been through many different product protection companies, and where it would be there'd be this gray area if it's the handle or it has to be a functional part, and well, stove doesn't function if you can't open
Right.
up the oven. But that was kind of one of the hurdles, and it's again, Epic's been great with that. It's been gone through, and they take care of it. They understand it, I think, is the best part of it. And it's not just an insurance company, if you will. They get it and understand what we have to go through and what the customer was buying when they bought the product protection plan.
Fantastic. So for a dealer that may not be here, or for a dealer that's not selling it, how would you wrap it up? And what would you say to a dealer that doesn't think it is worth it or doesn't think it's good?
Well, it's foolish not to. I mean, it's two parts. The one is that it puts the extra cash in the business, and it also gives the customer coverage. And so many people, and I've had salespeople that have argued with me saying, well, I don't believe in them, but it just gives that customer the protection. And there's no kidding that things aren't made like they used to be. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, the electronic boards and the cost of some of this stuff is huge. And to be able to tell the customer it's covered, that's just the greatest feeling in the world.
Fantastic. So there you have it, folks. Product protection plan from NMG is a must for everyone, and you get it from two of the finest dealers that we have in the organization, from Dan and Jim. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Mallory.
Thank you, Mallor.